welcome to the week that was. I thought I'd catch up with you before you head off to for your new role.
Yep.
Which we're probably a bit sad to everyone around here to see you go, but you've set up a real standard with the development of young players through the thing. Do you want to just talk us through how that path starts and everything like that, so that people can get a maybe better understanding of the process for going to an elite basketballer?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for the intro, mate. And yeah, I've got to say that I have been waiting, but
pressure's on.
I suppose, yeah, you've just left the best to last. But yeah, look, to answer your question, we've got a fair idea of the athletes that are going around in the Friday night competition.
Yep.
It starts at the under 12 level, works through to the under 14s, under 16s. We like to think that we've got got a fair understanding of who's performing well and who looks like they're performing well. And then, by the under 18 stage, we've 95% of the time got that covered, I would think. But as you'd be aware, we have the player development camps.
Yes.
Just a really important stage of an individual's development process.
They get the feel of they can compare themselves with other players of the same age groups, things like that.
For sure. From under 12s through to bottom age under 18, so we have an under 17 camp, and every age group in between. But we're able to bring the athletes in. It's for a limited time, which is a little unfortunate, but their workloads.
Spend some more time with them.
It'd be great if we could. Yep. It'd be great if we could, but we have to be mindful of other activities that they have on, and also mindful that it's not only basketball that can be in like a younger child's week to week schedule.
Yep.
So. To bring them in to address the particular areas of the game that I believe are relevant at that age level, and then for those individuals to be on the same floor with players that they are playing against on a Friday night, players that they may possibly respect, players that may have done a better job than them, in a game situation. But then also, players that they don't get the opportunity to play against. So, and they can learn from each other. But we've over the years, and definitely in my time at Basketball Victoria, I've been in this position for nearly 12 years. We have produced some very good players at our state level, at national championships, and also players that have gone well at national junior camps and gone on and represented our country at a junior and a senior level. So,
any player or players, because I know over 12 years it's sort of like it's maybe 2 or 3 generations you've seen come through.
Yeah.
Any players that sort of stand out high, or just, geez, I noticed him young and he's really gone on? Or
look, Rachel Jarry. Yep. Is a player that springs to mind. She's a really a really good story. And you watch her play now in the WNBL, and she played at the last Olympics. Yep. But she was a girl who played her junior basketball with Altona, and the people that were involved with the National Intensive Training Program and also at state level, so under 16s. Yep. At that point in time, weren't too familiar with who she was. She was playing in one of the lower divisions and as a bottom ager. But coming through and watching her at the camps, here's this girl that's just getting the ball and powering down the other end and find their way in and scoring, and you kind of think, well, you see that happen and you think, okay, maybe a once off, maybe a twice off, but then it just continues to, like for the first day and then the second day of the camp, it continued on. So
consistency was right through from a younger age, was it?
Well, she was a goer, like very athletic and determined. She always got the ball, and it's probably something that we really don't give a great deal of credit for in our game. We look at the finer part, the finer art. We notice a shooter. We'll notice we'll notice an athlete, we'll notice a player who plays good defence. We recognise that area of our game, which is all linked to the skill base. but very, very rarely do we make a point, and it's really not stated, of a player who actually just gets their hands on the basketball, who gets the ball. You know, because once we've got the ball, then we've got a chance of scoring. So, and she was that. You know, like she would get the ball however she needed to get it, she'd get it. But you know, like from there, she continued to play with Altona. She made a state team at under 16 level. I think from there it was when she made the move, and this is where it was really, really good, because it was with Altona's blessing that she made the move to Dandenong and finished her junior career at Dandenong. Played at the championship level, made state teams, continued on, and then was fortunate enough to receive a scholarship at the AIS. She went to Junior World Championships, and you know, now she's really well recognised as a player. So she's definitely one that you know, in my time, Liz Cambage, I remember being asked by her under 14 coach. She was a bottom age under 14 athlete at the time with Dandenong, and they were going to the under 14 National Club Championship, and the coach had expressed to me that he needed her to have a good week in order for them to be successful. And we were out on a back court at Waverley, and she'd subbed herself out in tears, and so I had to sit down with her and have this discussion about, you know, what she could do when, you know, the week ahead for her at the national clubs, and you know, and then, you know, times after that for her as a basketball player. And now, you know, like we look at the way that she's progressed, and you know, being that size, you always, you know, and athletic, you know, she had the goods to go with it. You always thought that she could, and more like she would make it, and she's done exceptionally well. On the boys' side, Dane Pinot would be one that does spring to mind. I know
he's really worked out hard over the last couple of years, hasn't he?
Fantastic, you know, fantastic. He always had a bit of size about him. He sort of like plateaued there for a little bit during his under 16s, but you see in the last few years where he's definitely knuckled down and put the time in, and you know, where he is now with his basketball. He's currently on scholarship at the AIS. It looks like he will go to St Mary's. Hopefully, fingers crossed, he'll make our under 19 Australian team. You know, but again, just one of those really good stories, because you know, all of those kids that I mentioned, they are good. You know, they were good kids, and you know, and you'll see them, and they're developing, or they have developed into, you know, great people. The list of them, I could talk about a lot of players. You know, Dante Exum. You know, from an early age, you could pick him. He was one of the. We were asked to begin our identification process when there was a hint that the under 17 World Championships would come into play, which was for 2010. Years prior to that, we were actually asked to start our identification process earlier, and so where we had made our selections into the NITP from under 14, when this news came through, we had an under 12 camp coming up, and there was 3 boys that I selected from that camp: Dante Exum, Mickey Luxford, and Jack Purchase.
All 3.
And now, you know, you look at it years down the track, and just last year, those 3 boys were on our Australian team that won a silver medal at the World Championships, which was a fantastic effort. In doing so, we came up with the concept of the Southern Cross Challenge, which in its first year was just Vic Country and Vic Metro. We had a fantastic 3 days. We incorporated a player clinic for each age group, and then we had a coaches clinic on the Sunday evening with Guy Malloy, who does a fantastic job with clinics for coaches. And then, you know, if you have a look at the same Southern Cross Challenge for 2013.
It was a massive increase of
you know, like it obviously word had filtered through, and you know, we had Western Australia, South Australia, ACT, but you know, like the feedback that we've received afterwards has been very, very positive, and I guess the great part about it is there's just no fuss.
Yeah.
You know, it's games, it's coaches to work with their games. It's also a fantastic opportunity for referee development.
Good. Now, your role at Diamond Valley is CEO, is that the right
that's
terminology
correct.
for it and that?
Yeah,
You're looking forward to that?
Yeah, I am. It's interesting, only 12 years is a long time, and 14 years with the organisation. But I guess in recent times, when I look at what we have been able to do with player development and also offering opportunity for coaches, I also have more responsibility in the office than just that. But the outside, the basketball community would see me mainly linked to those two areas. I guess I've got to a stage where I'm really happy with what I have been able to achieve.
It's been fantastic, I think, anyway.
Yeah, and the camps are as strong as ever. I think we're going to have to close our under-16 boys camp.
I know Jess been out there scratching her head out where all these applications are coming from. So it must be closing day today for the camps.
Yes, it is. Yeah, so it's built a. It's very well supported. Obviously, something goes well with the camp system, and then like players, our results at national championships. I don't think we've actually lost an under-16 girls national championship in my time in this position. So what else do you achieve there? But we have also been very, very successful in both boys and girls. We just recently won the under-20s. We maintain that winning culture when athletes and coaches are coming into the system for the following year. There is a certain amount of pressure on them, but it's a good pressure. It's an expectation, and we like to win. Yeah. But then also by winning, we're performing well.
Yes.
And if we can perform and present well at national level,
it puts all our athletes up more so in the spotlight a bit, does it?
It does. It puts our athletes up. It also creates opportunity for players that have just missed out on their team. If a player misses out on a team, at least they know that they missed out on the best team. Yes. So they can continue to strive to develop their game and play at a very good senior level. But yeah, for me, it's time. Yep. I'm happy with what we've achieved. We've done exceptionally well from a player perspective. We've produced very good coaches. A lot of our coaches are at the national level now, and with the Diamond Valley opportunity, I am really looking forward to it.
Just came at the right time to fit the pieces into your life, does it? Especially with your new son along, the baby, and how's that all going?
Yeah, little fella, he's going super. Yeah, we've done a little bit of work on his shooting action, and it's got a good follow through.
Well, thanks again for the chat, Ross, and all the best for the future, and no doubt we'll see you around on Friday night. Thanks very much.
No worries, Walter.